My name is Winnifred. I am an HRBP at Moniepoint. I'm one of a couple of HRBPs, and I manage the Employer of Record partnership with Atlas. We refer to it as a partnership. I also manage the visa processing for employees within Moniepoint, as well as compensation and benefits within the group. Moniepoint is a global fintech brand. We have interest in Nigeria as well as other emerging markets. We also have an office in the US. We also have an office in the UK. The company in the US, Moniepoint Inc., is the holding company for Moniepoint MFB in Nigeria, which is a microfinance bank, a licensed microfinance bank, and Timapt Limited. Timapt Limited is a switching licensed company. And like I mentioned, I'm the HRBP. I manage the employer of record relationship. I basically manage everything that has to do with a foreign employees getting compliantly hired. So that's a little bit about me. Operating in about 3 countries. We're closing out on the 4th, but we have employees in 13 countries at the moment. Also, Moniepoint, like I mentioned, Moniepoint is a global brand. It's a global fintech brand, and we believe that your talent can come from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you find good talent, as long as the person is able to do the work, and as long as they are aligned with the company objective. It doesn't matter where they are from. Initially, we only had employees in, I think, about 4 countries. And one of the issues was because we had not found the right partner to help us compliantly hire in all of these countries. And as soon as we were able to do that in the space of 3 to 4 months that we've been working with Atlas, we have had to be able to hire employees in about 8 more countries. So for us, the first thing is wherever it is that you find your hire, it doesn't matter if it's in Nigeria, in the UK, the US, you can find a good talent anywhere. And that's one of the things that is important for us, have good talent. Again, for us, the very beginning was find good talent wherever you can and make sure that you're able to compliantly hire them. To be honest, Atlas is not the first employer of record that we're using at Moniepoint. We did have 2 partners in the past who didn't offer us everything that we needed, and we had to start looking for another one, and we ended up with Atlas. The strategy for us at Moniepoint when it comes to talent or managing talent is find good talent and do your best to get them on board. So when it comes to whatever compensation, whatever benefits it is you're hiring them, including being able to compliantly hire them, you have situation where you find a talent, and because you don't have an entity or you're unable to compliantly hire them, they'll tell you they'll just rather not take the employment. We've had that situation before where a candidate dropped off because we didn't have an entity in the country where they were in, and this was pre-Atlas anyways. But the strategy for us when it comes to finding talent is find good talent, regardless of wherever it is in the world that they are in, and get them on board compliantly, which is why we use Atlas. Most of the employees we do have on Atlas are tech talent, software engineers. Okay. I think we have about 2 C-suite executives as well under Atlas. We don't have any salesperson. We do have a couple marketing people, but really it's any role. We do hire a lot of tech talent from across the world. So about 70% of the talents we have are tech talent under Atlas. They were not a direct employer in all the countries that we were considering. So when we signed up the first person, I prefer not to mention names. They did mention that they had entities direct entities in some of the countries, and then wanted to onboard in a new country. And apparently they didn't have an entity in that country. And then we needed to sign up another EOR partner, and then we ended up with 2. And down the line, Moniepoint has been expanding for a couple of months now, and we had this expansion plan. We had some new products that we wanted to release into the market. We needed to hire talent, and then we're finding talent in certain countries, and it turns out that they didn't have direct entities in those countries, and it was a concern for us because when you don't have direct entities, there's just quite a number of risks that can be avoided if you have an EOR partner with direct entities. And we went back into the search, and this time we were strict with some of the requirements that we had for whoever the EOR partner was going to be. And the number one thing on it was they had to be a direct entity. It helps us to mitigate quite a number of things. And after reviewing a couple of countries, we ended up with Atlas, who had direct entities in about 160 companies. At the time, we're only in about 5 companies, so we knew 160 was a lot, and Atlas would be able to serve us where needed. The major thing was accountability. The major thing is accountability. When you have a partner that has a partner and something happens, sometimes you're not even sure who you need to reach out to. It's easier for me with Atlas. There are quite a number of people that I have to interface with depending on the country. But if I have a benefit issue, I know exactly who at Atlas that I need to reach out to. If I have an invoicing issue or a payroll issue, I know who exactly to reach out to. Everything is consolidated, and there is just one person who is responsible for the entire process. I don't need to reach out to somebody to reach out to somebody. And when it comes to compliance risk, one of the major reasons for using an EOR partner is to ensure that we are able to compliantly hire and manage these employees. When you have too many partners in between, then you are exposed to compliance risk that could have been avoided if you had just one partner who was taking care of everything. Because I may give an instruction to Atlas, and Atlas doesn't pass that information accurately to their third-party partner. But when there's a problem for us as a business. Like I mentioned, we're a global brand, and it's very important that we manage compliance and litigations risk properly, especially when it comes to not just the company, but the employee experience as well. We hire from all over the world, right? We could easily lose our employees in the pipeline just because there are some risks that we're not mitigating properly. So having a direct employer made sure that we had one person who was responsible, who would take responsibility if anything happened, and then we had just one compliance contact that if I needed anything or if there were any concerns, this was the one person that will solve my problem for me.